Welcome everyone out to our meeting. We will begin with Commissioner Rubes leading us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You ready?
We'll start with a roll call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commissioner Bueller. Here. Commissioner Day.
Here.
Commissioner Hewitt. Here. Commissioner Rubes.
Here.
Commissioner Robertson.
Here.
Commissioner Spica. Commissioner Terry.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, approval of minutes for October 6th. I have just some minor ones that I can pass.
And I got some from Commissioner Robertson. Just some typos.
Okay. Yeah, typos and a couple context ones. But
Yeah, I forgot a D on board and the dollars in there a couple times.
there's one
Dollar.
it said waste, it said water, but it should have been waste or just.
Said water plant.
little, yeah, very small. Alrighty, no courtesies and no proclamations this evening. So we will begin our board and commission reports, and we'll start with Commissioner Hewitt.
The library board met October 15th, which was last week. Some interesting changes are going on at the library with our, I'm going to get the acronym right, CDBG, yes, grant. We are focusing on creating a architectural review and a plan to maintain the building. To do that, the board has also decided to create a building-specific fund at Central Montana so that we can have a place to house renovation funds if we need them. Looking forward into the future, our beautiful building is over 100 years old and will need constant maintenance to maintain its grandeur in our community. So that is one way that the board is moving forward with that. Additionally, we talked about possibly doing a website update and how that may also wrap into some of the other city website updates, which would be really helpful. I think that would be great. The library is also thinking about or researching a library substitute position. And so this would be an individual that would work very part-time on an as-needed basis. That would help keep the library open when staff are sick or maybe they are gone for conferences and things like that. And we're digging into what that would actually look like. Lastly, there has been something, class visits have resumed. I haven't noted that, but that's something that's very big in the library during the school year. Classes from Moore, Lewistown, as well as multiple colonies come to the library, receive library education and services as well as books. And that's something that the library is very active with and loves doing and has started out this year well again. We will be meeting November 19th. That'll be Wednesday at 1 p.m. in the library. All are welcome. Super fun time.
Thank you. Welcome. Yeah. Commissioner Robertson.
Nothing.
Commissioner Rubes.
The Lewistown Ferguson County Health Board is scheduled to meet this coming Monday. I'll have to check I did look last night and I hadn't gotten anything.
I haven't seen anything.
Okay. I'll be in Billings that day for medical stuff. I noticed on my calendar a week ago, so I don't know if I'll be back in time for that, Holly. Okay.
Thanks for reporting for me last time. The next meeting is October 28th at 2 p.m. for Central Montana Foundation.
And Commissioner Hewitt.
I did not bring my airport board minutes with me, so I have no idea.
As far as Park and Rec goes, nothing to report. Our next meeting is going to be the first Wednesday of November at the Civic Center, 7 p.m. So that's always a great meeting too. Alrighty, we'll move on then to our city manager report with City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yes, this time we still have a few of the Historic Resource Commission books available. They're down to the last ones, so if you're still interested in those books, either stop into the office or, Moxon Mountain also sells them, the museum also sells them. They're out and about in a few different places, available to people for $25. And the Historic Resource Commission is on to their next project, which is called the Living History Project. This allows kind of this virtual walking tour of sorts. And we already have a couple of projects or businesses online, so you can find it under the city's website, under the Historic Preservation tab. They have signs and they have virtual brochures as well as paper brochures. And so there is about 5 buildings. I think they're working to get the library and the courthouse in addition to the 5 that they were initially part of the project. So that's always a good thing. It will allow people to access it even if they're out of the area or find it again from a remote location. So that's kind of a neat option. It is election season, and even though there's not a whole lot of signage out there, just a reminder that temporary signs are only allowed for 60 days prior to the event, and then we ask that they be removed right away. Temporary signs can include, yard sales, realtor signs, and election signs, and they also must be placed on private property and not in the public right-of-way, whether it's state or city right-of-ways. So, beginning November 1st, RVs and boats and campers cannot be placed on city streets. This is something that the police department will monitor. They've already been addressing issues prior to winter, and so it's just a good reminder to the residents that it is coming up on that time of year, and it definitely does interfere with snow removal. And so while the weather is good, if people can move those, it's a great help to the community. As I briefly touched on, this week is National Lead Poisoning Prevention Week. Again, we are doing what we're supposed to do and have been working hard on our lead service line inventories in partnership with Water and Environmental Technologies, which is a consultant firm. That inventory is available on the city's website. You can also find out, if you haven't submitted your inventory, there's a link on our website too to fill that out. And so that's critical information. And then the street department started our leaf cleanup today. Just as a reminder, people are asked to rake them out along the curb line in a uniform row. It helps if vehicles are moved to get that cleaned up. And then if they get delayed due to weather or mechanical issues, they'll get back to that area just as soon as possible. So I anticipate just a very short delay on that. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Any questions for the city manager from the commission or the public? Awesome. All right, well, we will move on to public comment. So this is public comment regarding non-agenda items. So anything that is not on the agenda, if you could stand and state your name and address, that would be appreciated. Public comment?
Hello, my name is Samantha Houston. I'm here to talk about traffic patterns around Lewis and Clark. I was previously at the school board meeting this last week, and they suggested that I come here and bring up the concerns. Is the committee aware of the streets around Lewis and Clark? Cool. I do know that the stop sign got taken out at Crystal and Birch, which is one of the areas of concern. It was there through most of last year, I think. But it's, and, that was set up there. Crystal is the one that runs in front of Lewis and Clark, and it was set there at Crystal, going into Birch, going past Lewis and Clark. And my understanding was that was taken down due to disrupting traffic patterns on Casino Creek. Point of the concerns is there's a lot of danger areas for the children that are walking on these areas. So Birch, I understand that they probably cannot add a stop sign, but that being a three-way stop would be a significant help. Makes it easier for kids to cross safely. Another thing that would help crossing safely is dedicated crossing guards, which I don't know where those are coming from. But another option there might be to have police helping with traffic navigation from the time between 3:10 and about 3:40 during school pick up and drop off hours there. And then other areas of concern is there at Florida and Crystal. Currently, it's only got one stop sign, and that's going Crystal into Florida, going towards Lewis and Clark. And again, it's just another area, there's a lot of confusion there, especially the right turn into the bus drop-off. It's always a guessing game, who's gonna decide to stop there and who's gonna decide to go through, even though it's supposed to be a through. And then the traffic pattern there at Lower Airport Road and Birch and Fluoride has stop signs. People are generally okay with it, but again, it's not terribly safe for the children that are crossing there. And so again, crossing guards that were dedicated would be helpful, as would some type of police traffic help in that area. But that is my main point of concern that I bring up tonight.
Thank you so much.
So those areas are part of what we've asked the state of Montana to provide some assistance on planning, transportation planning for. So we've worked with partners from DOT, and they have an engineering firm studying this area anyway, and so they were able to do some scenarios in partnership with the school. So that is definitely something we're aware of and have several options to kind of evaluate. Talking with the school and stuff is a great place to get assistance with those crossing guards and things like that we necessarily can't provide. It's a good option, and the police do what they can as far as being out there both at drop-off and pickup times, but they try and patrol all of the schools. So thanks for coming tonight.
Can I add extra there? Can I ask questions? So is there a timeline on when that engineering evaluation will be done and
We have
actions?
engineering, that still has to happen. They've just presented proposals to us at this time. Again, those include some fairly extensive projects that would have to, be funded. And so that will be the bigger portion of that.
Thank you. And then as far as police presence, we generally only see one going around in the morning, and then in the afternoon, they tend to hang out right there in front of LBS, and they just hang out in the car.
So there's, at times, 2 officers is all they have on shift. And
Okay.
so, again, they're trying to monitor all of it.
Yes, okay.
But we'll definitely relay your concerns.
So is the school district responsible for the crossing guards, or is that the city?
They traditionally have provided those during the construction when those Birch Street, stop sign was up, and they also had crossing guards at that point.
And that was primarily when the church parking lot was the main
Pick a playground.
space.
And is that why that stop sign was removed, or was it removed because of the traffic flow onto Casino?
Both. I mean, it was put up to facilitate that safe crossing of the street. And, in working on the project and working with, DOT, it actually backed up traffic as you got to, Casino Creek. You know, when they came back down, then you couldn't make a right-hand turn, at busy times. And so it was actually kind of congesting the area more than, it definitely helped crossing, safely for those kids, but it was not without its own issues. did that intersection get included as part of the engineering planning? Yes, yep, all of that area has been studied.
Commissioner Robertson?
I just add, I was on part of that ad hoc committee, and I would thank you for your comments. They all fit what we're talking about. It just doesn't move quite as fast as any of us would like, but, and there's a lot of money involved in rerouting traffic, rebuilding and rerouting streets. But if you can make sure you stay in touch or get us your name and your number, I'm your commissioner up on the hill, I live right near you. So if you get me all your information, I'll make sure keep you aware of what's going on, and you can participate in that process
Appreciate it.
as we go.
Thank you. Any other questions regarding the public comment? Okay, we'll move on to our consent agenda. Any questions regarding the consent agenda or the budget reports that were presented to us?
I have a question. Okay. Page 8, line 30. Why is that so big? The electric bill for the wastewater treatment facility.
The electricity for that facility is about 10 grand a month. on average.
I looked at other ones that I didn't see they were that high. Which was
Okay,
intriguing.
so tell me again, line 8.
Wastewater
Page
treatment
8, line 30. Electric bill for the wastewater treatment plant.
Yep, that's just the electric for the plant, and sometimes if they've had something happen, or ran, you know, an event or something that's going, or a project or something, will increase that.
I looked at the past few claims and it was not that close, so I still, that was one of my questions.
So Olenis was here, do we have their stuff yet?
They were here doing the closeout for the
Yeah.
year.
So do we have any reports on that?
No, they don't do any auditing or anything. They just close out the previous.
Have we heard from the Department of Administration on any of those things? Our
You
claims
saw
or
the
what we're
last,
submitting?
correspondence, that's the last. I know Nikki works with, the accountant regularly if he has questions or something like that. But that's just simple question and answers.
And then did we decide to send a letter as a commission?
We did,
And that was sent,
we are still working on it.
has not been
Yeah.
sent, okay.
Is there a motion?
I move to approve the claims that have been paid from October 1st, 2025 to October 15th, 2025 in the amount of $526.02.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Bueller and a second from Commissioner Robertson. Any other questions regarding the consent agenda? Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, all right, moving on to our regular agenda for the evening. Item number 1 is discussion and action on approving Snowy Mountain Development Corporation to submit a Main Street grant on behalf of the city and the Lewistown Downtown Association. City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yep, so included in your packet is a Main Street grant application, for a downtown master plan. This is something that we discussed with, over the course of a couple of years with the Downtown Association. It was identified in our growth policy as being kind of a next logical step for our downtown. And, there is an opportunity, to get some grant funding for that. And so the Downtown Association is working with Snowy Mountain and the city primarily on this application. Kathy Barta has graciously agreed to help them with that grant writing, and so she's here tonight too.
And if I could please clarify, the grant is due November 14th, and what you have in your packet is a draft version. I have received input from Mr. Robertson for corrections, and I have integrated those corrections in that application. I also didn't have the funding finalized in the application before you because we were going to present to the tax increment financing committee this morning, which they did did approve the 20% match of $20,000 for the highest possible grant ask, for the downtown master plan. The Montana Main Street Grant Program, what the Lewistown Downtown Association is wishing to do is update Lewistown's downtown master plan, which helps to serve as like a guiding document for development within your downtown area. It was last done, and Tim was a member of the group that participated in that last revision. I believe it was in 2005 is when it was finalized and released. And it had a number of goals which helped to guide the downtown development over the years, which has really proved helpful as kind of a guiding north arrow for what the businesses, can do to make our downtown area more attractive to additional businesses who want to come start in our vacant buildings. The previous plan was very effective, and a lot of goals were accomplished as a part of that. However, there's still a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of opportunities for consideration. And so the Downtown Association just wishes to, revise the plan. We got 2 informal verbal estimates, one from Holly got from Cushing Terrell of about $100,000 to complete the plan, and we got a second informal estimate of about $60,000 from Staley Engineering. So it really is going to vary what the plan will cost. But we decided to apply for the most amount of money with the realization that it's going to have to actually go out for solicitation, competitive bid, with the hopefully the best value or the lowest bid being selected. And then Snowy Mountain Development will provide assistance with the management of that grant, doing quarterly reporting, submission of invoices to the city for payment, and then just monitoring progress for the evolution of the Main Street plan update. So that's what we're submitting the application for the Department of Commerce for the $80,000, which is the most that we asked for that amount of money. So, what questions can I answer for you guys?
Can you define the role of the city in this process or as a partnership?
For this grant to be approved, it requires the support and the certification from the city. And so, in the way the Department of Commerce has it structured, it lists the city as the applicant with a wet signature, and that's for the certification. But it's really going to be through the Lewistown Downtown Association, through their partnership. So if the commission decides to approve this, it would be Holly's signature that actually makes this application valid. If you guys do not approve it, then it's dead in the water and it goes nowhere.
So we're the Montana Main Street program, so these are limited to like active participants within the Main Street program.
And we are an active participant in the Main Street program.
Yes, since 2010.
And that's the second thing on the agenda?
So there's a new requirement for their participation agreement, so yes, that's the second part of it. And that is part of this submission.
And then, so you explained the city's role, so the downtown association, is that because of their membership with Main Street, or no? How does that?
They're just kind of an interested party, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the stakeholder.
Okay.
Stakeholders.
And then the main entity that would follow through on the process of the grant would be Snowy Mountain or
We would
primarily
be the
the
ones
city?
managing it, and we would be doing that for an administrative fee not to exceed $5,000. And it would just be for our time in the management of the grant. When it comes to a downtown master plan, it's not as technically complicated. It's going to be, engagement in public meetings, getting, input from the community. That's going to be a big driver of what the plan is. And then just making sure that they are following the vision of the community and carrying through the requirements that was outlined in the agreement.
So the process would be kind of similar to what we did with the growth plan, but yet just very
More
condensed
specific
into
to
just
the
being
downtown.
downtown. Okay. And is that boundaries, is that like what the TIF boundaries are, or not necessarily? Can that be any?
So that's part of it, that, again, in the past, you could be more fluid with your boundaries. As part of this new participation model, they require specific boundaries. And so, that would be my recommendation, is that we follow the TIF boundary or something like that that's already established.
And I'm guessing this, analysis will complement the land use, development that we are currently.
And it is highlighted in the implementation schedule.
Perfect.
And the other thing with the updated downtown master plan provides you is opportunity and access to additional future funding, in the future. Oftentimes, you won't even be open to consideration of funding if you don't have a master plan. Or if your master plan is so completely outdated, it's no longer relevant.
So you mentioned like somewhere between 60K, 100K, that the most you can ask for is 80. So how did if there's that gap of funds, where does
So
that?
they still need, there's a hard match that's required of
It's a 20%
20%.
match. And so the way it was presented to the tax increment financing district is, would they be willing to fund 20%? So whatever that total amount is when the solicitation is released and selected, you select the engineering firm that's gonna, provide you with what it is that you wish to have. Maybe that's 75,000, and then of that, then 20% would be provided by the tax increment financing district, and the other 80% would be provided by the Montana Department of Commerce. We just wanted to present to you the highest amount possible for your approval.
So if this is due the 14th, you're gonna have to run that TIF thing through the city commission next meeting.
Correct. Yep, it was
So
approved
that we
this
can-
morning.
Just to
And-
make their deadline.
Well, it doesn't have to be secured, only obligated.
You don't have to have the money in hand to be able to apply for it. You just have to say pending or,
And the TIF committee had an extensive discussion of it this morning and felt that it was quite appropriate for its mission.
Well, I still think the commission should approve it.
And the plan
Well,
is. at
no,
next
absolutely,
meeting.
that was just a recommendation from TIF to this, will be to this group on November.
It says right here,
November
the commission voted to support the LD.
No, this is a draft, Dawn, that's a draft of what they hope will be passed.
They're hoping we'll.
They hope, okay.
And so, due to public notice requirements, we can't kind of
No, I
hedge
know.
our bets.
I was just thinking of the 14th deadline, it'd be nice just to know for sure.
ultimately it benefits your community. It's really,
Oh, yeah, that's great.
no sweat to us, what you decide.
That's a third signing.
I move to approve the Snowy Mountain Development Corporation be able to submit the Main Street grant on behalf of the city and Lewistown Downtown Association.
I'll second.
So we have a motion from Commissioner Bueller and a second from Commissioner Terry. Any other questions from the commission or the public? Okay, we'll take a roll call vote.
Okay, we are approving, Snowy Mountain Development Corporation to submit a Main Street grant. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Roots,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye.
Okay, so hand in hand with that is item number 2, discussion and action to authorize the city manager to sign and submit the 2026 Montana Main Street Participation and Member Agreement. City Manager Holly Phelps.
So before you, you have the standard agreement. You can see that we are the Main Street organization. Again, it is, the desire, I think, of the group for this year, which this will be submitted annually, to continue doing what we have been doing, which is the city doing the quarterly events. Again, we meet with our stakeholders, which include Snowy Mountain and the Downtown Association, the city commission members, on a regular basis anyway, which is a requirement to have some, participation from your stakeholders. And, again, like I said, the area that, I would like to propose is the downtown. It would be the same boundaries as the TIF district. That traditionally is what we reported in the quarterly reports that we submit to the Department of Commerce. So extending basically up First Avenue, both north and south, and then from about Fleet up to the junior high.
How long does this go for then?
This is an annual agreement. Yeah.
How difficult would it be to extend that further east?
We could make it whatever we wanted.
A lot of businesses east of Fleet.
Yep, and then again, you could redefine those boundaries on an annual basis as well. Again, there is potentially some grant funding that could come their way. They do have like project grants, that sort of thing that, the Department of Commerce and their Main Street program can support.
So we can expand in either direction.
In your description, you said quarterly events, what are those?
So we do quarterly reporting, and included in some of the reports, they ask for events, hours in kind, job creation, number of participants, building permits, so both public and private investments within the district, things like that.
And would you be the one that submits those quarterly events?
The planner.
Reports? Planner, okay.
We've been part of this since the inception of this, haven't we?
Correct.
Of the Main Street program.
And just to make sure this is with Commerce?
Yes.
I move to authorize the city manager to sign and submit the 2026 Montana Main Street Participation and Member Agreement.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Terry and a second from Commissioner Bueller. Is there any other questions from the commission? Questions and comments from the public?
I approve that she signs both.
Thank you. Okay, we'll do a roll call vote.
All right. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
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 That was nice to speak, I'm sorry. Going down the line.
Item number 3 is discussion and action on approving the 2025-2026 School District Number 1 Recreation Agreement. City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yes, so this is the same agreement that we have signed last year for the school district. Last year, we did do some amendments that would allow more broad use of pools and other recreation facilities, recognizing pickleball and some of those different programs that we've added over the years. The school district is now, or again, utilizing the Civic Center for a lot of their junior high and lower classroom type recreation games on Saturday and things like that. But it's a great partnership that we can work with the school district. Again, there is a flat fee that goes up each year by the cost of the CPI increase. I think you talked with Rebecca and they're anticipating it and have no real concerns with continuing.
I move the Lewistown City Commission approve the 2025-2026 School District Number 1 Recreational Agreement.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Rubes and a second from Commissioner Bueller. Any other comments or questions regarding this agreement?
Does this fee go up every year?
By CPI.
Any from the public? Great, let's do a roll call vote.
Okay, we're approving the school district agreement for 25-26. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Item number 4 is discussion and action on first reading ordinance number 1774 and ordinance amending ordinance number 1733 codified as 7-2-1, adopting the 2021 International Fire Code and authorizing the city attorney to codify the same. City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yep, so this is really no different than the building code. We are required by the state of Montana to adopt the same code that they adopt. We can be more stringent, but not less. And so in front of you, you have an ordinance that adopts the most current version, which is the 2021 International Fire Code. You can see the appendices that were approved by the state, and we will be adopting the same. There are a few sections that from the standard code, we asked to insert the City of Lewistown or maybe reference a specific section in the existing city code. But other than that, it is the same that we've been doing, just the newest version of the fair.
Move to approve the first reading of ordinance number 1774.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Robertson and a second from Commissioner Bueller. Any other questions from the commission or the public? Okay, we'll take a roll call.
Okay, we're approving the first reading of ordinance number 1774. So if this passes, if it's approved, it'll come back for second reading at the next meeting. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Thank you. Okay, item number 5, discussion and action on approving the purchase of furnaces for the Bay at the Fire Department. City Manager Holly Phelps.
So yes, in front of you, you have a purchase requisition for 4 furnaces in the fire department bay. This has been something, a couple of the units have, now stopped working and they're outdated and need replaced. And so the fire department has worked with us to get quotes, on this project. Again, some of the quotes are, were received a few months back as part of the budgeting process.
I would point out that there was significant differences in dates, and that some of these suggest that these are no longer valid quotes because they're too old, at least one. And I'd also point out that at least they're not equivalent. 2 of them are 250,000 BTU furnaces, one is a $300,000 BTU furnace. Prices change. I'm gonna make a motion that we table this item until November 3rd and encourage the department to get updated pricing on equivalent items.
We'll see what we can get.
So that March 18th one is no longer, that's not a valid.
It says right on it, it's not valid after 15 days.
Was there something where, when you guys were doing specs, that you were thinking that like 250 would work instead of 300?
Again, working with the contractors, that's what we've been told.
I did some research, and I think there was not a written spec, it was replace those heaters, please. And there were different interpretations of that. And so, again, I don't want to delay the process, but I'd like to suggest we come back at our next meeting and look at this, not hold up too long. How quickly can we bring this back?
Oh, I'm all fine with that. I just need to know what your motion was again.
You
You,
said I want to
Table
table
it,
this item
yeah.
until November 3rd.
okay, but then you said something else.
So that the city can get updated pricing and
Updated
equivalent
pricing.
items.
On equivalent
I
items.
know it's important, and I know we need to move fast, but I like to be able to compare apples to apples.
Second.
Thank you.
I seconded people.
$900.
We'll roll call vote on that motion to table. So we have a-
Yeah, we'll need to
Okay.
take a vote to make sure we're
So we
all,
have a motion from Commissioner Robertson and a second from Commissioner Bueller. Will you please reread that? And then
Okay.
we'll do a roll call vote.
okay, so do we have any questions from the audience first?
Any
before I take a
questions?
vote?
Ron had a question.
Ron, do you have a question?
No, I'm just gonna, there's only a $900 difference between the 300 BTU and the 2,500, but that's a moot point until we get the new prices.
Exactly.
What's the square footage of that bay? Like how big is
Big.
it?
The whole width of the building,
The whole width of the
yeah,
building?
and all of
And
the
when they have a
garage
call, they
doors.
open all the doors,
Yes.
and so recovery time might be an issue, that's why I was concerned if they get big enough units. I don't know.
Right.
Can you just reread it?
Yep.
And then I'm gonna call for questions just again, if that's.
Okay, so the motion is to table the item to get upgraded prices on equivalent items, and I'm not to bring back November 3rd. If they can't, I guess they can't, we'll just have to bring it back to the next meeting. That's the motion.
Any other questions from the commission regarding the motion or from the public?
Well, I understand what the table is until Elizabeth pays all
Or do you have a comment?
Just that, you know, getting quotes, getting, pricing that's good for more than just a very limited time right now is very difficult for us. And so as we get into the next requisition, we'll discuss that with tariffs and things like that. We would like to see us start doing kind of a not to exceed or an allowance for some of those unforeseens as well.
And there's, okay, we'll do a roll call. vote
Okay.
then on that.
All right, so everybody understands the motion? Okay. Commissioner Bueller? Aye. Commissioner Day?
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes?
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson?
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Carried.
that.
I'm sorry.
She's missed you.
I want you to feel like you weren't missed.
Hey, you.
All right, moving on to
Hey,
number
you.
6. So there is a typo in this amount here, so I'll just, can I read it as the correct amount?
Yes.
With that. So discussion and action on approving entering into a 1-year maintenance contract with Lumen for the 911 phone system. It's actually in the amount of $18,741.64. Am I correct on that?
You are correct.
Good. Right amount, all right. City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yep, so Lumen is the service provider for our 911 phone systems. Again, critical infrastructure that we keep up-to-date maintenance contracts on. This one ironically is the one that got behind on their billing. And so, this is for the year we're just in now. So October of 25 through September of 26. Again, we have several systems in our building here and have a remote desktop in Judith Basin County that we also service so that we have flexibility and redundancy in that emergency system.
They were behind on their billing to us, that's why it's starting in October.
October has always been the timeline, but you may recall that
just did this.
we just recently did it in the spring.
We just paid.
And they've always honored the service and maintained them, but with some turnover in their organization, it wasn't always filled out very
This is obviously in our budget, do we have funds that have been budgeted in the appropriate amount?
This is very consistent. I think last year it was 17,000.
It seems like it's not very.
I move the Lewistown City Commission approve entering into a 1-year maintenance contract with Lumen for the 911 phone system in the amount of $18,741.64.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Rubes, a second from Commissioner Robertson. Any other questions from the commission? Or the public? Important service. All right, let's do a roll call vote.
Okay, we're approving a 1-year maintenance contract with Lumen. Commissioner Bueller? Aye. Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Roops,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Awesome. Here comes the fun one. Discussion and action on the second reading of ordinance number 1773, an ordinance amending Lewistown City Code Section 10-5-3, designating snow route areas as Tier 1 and Tier 2 priorities, creating parking restrictions for snow routes, and amending penalties. City Manager Holly Phelps.
So before you tonight is the, second reading of the ordinance, for snow routes. Again, it does reflect the changes that we, did at the last meeting, which was to change 2 inches to 4 and the times from, 11 to 11. Again, Tier 1 snow route is anytime there is accumulations of 4 inches or more predicted, the city manager would declare a snow event, which would prohibit parking on a set number of streets. And then the Tier 2 is the odds and evens, and that is based on the calendar. Again, most of the streets are very familiar streets, as they are currently snow routes. Collector streets, arterials throughout the community, that sort of thing. Penalties for this begin at $25 and go up from there. Again, it is all based within 1 year. And then it does require some notice from the city. Again, there is good cooperation with both Public Works and the police department to do what's necessary to accomplish.
Any questions for you?
I have just one typographical thing.
Also remove the example.
Yes, and it did remove the example, item D.
There's one typographical thing, top of page 2, second line. I think that sentence needs another word at the end of it. Ended,
Pass,
concluded or ended.
yeah.
We're, yeah, I know, I have a slew of questions, so I'll let all the commissioners go first, and maybe some of mine will be addressed with that. So where was that typo on the?
Page 2.
It ends with, the event has,
The event has
Oh, okay.
concluded, some, add a word. Concluded?
Sorry to leave you hanging.
What's coming? Has what? What?
Well, what we'll do is we'll just go down the row and ask questions, so we'll begin with Commissioner Bueller.
I just want to confirm that the Tier 1s, there is parking until a snow event is declared.
yep, of 4
Of 4
inches or
inches.
more is predicted, yep.
So parking is available until that time. And then people can go back to parking there once it has been plowed
Or resolved.
or resolved.
No longer a declared emergency.
Okay. And then Tier 2, again, can park there,
On the odd or even side.
and that continues every day through the season.
From November 1st to May 1st. That was my question too.
Yeah.
And that was based on a discussion by this group, this commission, concerned that they wanted to make a pattern
Yeah.
of behavior that was recognizable. People could depend on the fact that they had to do this versus, well, is there a snow or is
Yeah,
there
is it or
not?
isn't it? No, I agree. Good job, guys.
Which might cause some concerns, but
So starting, soon. November 1st.
And then
It'd go into effect 30 days.
It can't, if this is approved, it won't go into effect until November 20th.
And so
So
that would
it's
give
gotta
us
be 30 days.
time to do the notices and things.
and
However, what's currently in effect right now, the snow routes that are in effect right now will go into effect November 1st.
so we'll have a little gear shifting happening. question.
Sorry, I wish you waited till it got to me.
Oh, sorry, no, it's okay.
It's popcorn.
I'm good.
Oh, do we have a plan in place to help, like we heard in the committee of the whole, get the information out to the public? Are we going above and beyond to do our very best to communicate the changes that could come from this?
Yes, so the chief of police has committed to having someone go to each of the doors on, the tier 2, which are the odds and evens, and doing the notice. So other than that, the tier 1, actually is less restrictive than what it is today, which says, people can be ticketed for interfering with snow removal, on kind of those same streets. And so it will actually be a little bit less restrictive for those folks.
Okay, so we have the, like, door-to-door information being handed out. Are there other avenues that we are using to get the message out? Are we using the paper, the radio, social media, and doing that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times?
Continually ongoing, and then it does talk about, having it in the offices as well.
Perfect.
Because the ordinance reads the public notice in a newspaper of general circulation or published by other appropriate, like, does that language doesn't have to change to include the radio, the door-to-door and all that?
I think that's other,
That would be considered the other, okay, so the city will be making those efforts to do website, you said?
yeah, we'll have it on our website, we'll have it, on the radio some more, though we've talked about it, Deb's online, with the newspaper, and so, I certainly feel be willing to get something in there as well.
I have no questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah. Commissioner Roots?
Yeah, I'm just a little confused on the front page. It says tier 1 snow routes, okay? And it says, further down, in the event that the city manager declares a snow event as set forth in section 10.5.3b, no person shall park vehicles, trailers, or equipment on, okay? In the event that the city manager declares a snow event. You go to the next page under tier 2 snow routes. Tier 2 snow routes are considered important, and from November 1 through May 1, parking on tier 2 snow routes shall alternate from each side of the street on even and odd calendar days. Now that's even in the summertime?
No, that is from November to May 1st,
Whether it snows or not.
whether it snows or not.
That is more restrictive than tier 1.
Well, that's only if there's.
An event.
No,
No, tier 1 is.
it's just odds or events all the time.
So tier 1, you have to declare a snow event, but in tier 2, you don't have to.
Correct, it's to become habit.
Tier 1 includes major thoroughfares that many people park on a lot. And so the idea was that in the event of a snow event, you can't be on those streets, period, at all, either side, neither side. Whereas tier 2, one of those sides will always have cars on it, depending on the day of the week. So you can always park in front of your home, it just might not be right in front, it might be across the street in front or down the block a little bit. So it's close parking. But if you're in tier 1 and there's a snow event, you're not parking anywhere on that street.
Yeah, I understand all that. I just, tier 2, those people are gonna be moving their car.
Every day. We've talked about that repeatedly though, Ron, every meeting and every discussion of this topic, we've said they need to move their car every day because we can't plow the streets. That's why we had so many problems last year, because people didn't move their cars.
Right. Yeah, they didn't.
So they need to understand, yes, it's imposing to them, but we need to get those streets opened up. And it's not the whole city, it's what the police and fire designated as important streets that need to be able to be opened up.
So say for some, Luke, I'm just playing like devil's advocate, it stops snowing in March. we still have April and May, good weather, still abiding by the evenings.
To May 1st.
June 1st. Any other questions, Commissioners?
No questions, I understand it. I don't agree with that, but I understand it.
I guess what I would ask Ron is, we spent a lot of time trying to come up with a better solution, and there wasn't one.
I just thought it should be if a snow event is declared. I would like to have seen that included in tier 2 snow routes, flopping streets. That's all.
So I'll give you one example. If somebody says, I'm gonna take a vacation for a week, but I'm gonna leave my car there and hope there's no snow event. And there is a snow event, now we have a plugged street. If we tell them, from this point to this point, you are going to have to move your vehicle, you need to figure out a solution for that.
Give somebody the keys to your car so they can move it.
Do something to move it. But we're not gonna form a new habit
Right.
if we don't tell people, you're going to have to move your car every day if you're gonna park in front of your house. I explained to this earlier, I lived with this my entire childhood growing up. And I got a few tickets. And after about the second ticket, I learned to move my vehicle, and I had a clear street in front of me every day because of that. We could not come up with a better solution.
Yeah, good enough.
Commissioner Terry?
When we're doing our, I mean, I know the door to door and stuff, but I do think people, when they hear November 1st to May 1st, they're gonna be confused if it's their street or not, you know, just, so I think maps, when we put this out,
We'll have a flyer or something that includes not only a list, but the
well,
map.
and that one map that had like the stuff was highlighted, the red, what was tier 1 and what was tier 2 and stuff.
Something very similar to that. We'll be
Not
on the
only are we
website,
telling
on the
them, but-
walls.
I mean, this does affect, I mean, everybody, which I think is a super great plan. I just, you know, it's not every street. And we definitely want the people on those streets to do it, but we need to let the people, everybody know that.
Well, and like Commissioner Robertson said, this is, we worked with the police and the fire department to come up with those streets. I mean, their critical access is to the hospital, to major employers or the schools, things like that.
Or they're too tight to have cars on both sides and get a plow down it. You can't get a plow down some of those streets.
So I agree with the streets, I just think maps would be good.
So do we have a discretion, do you have enough budgetary discretion to run some big ads, like buy a page in the News Argus and put the map and do that repeatedly and ask DES to do it on their website? and-
He's a great partner, so we can get it on ours too.
Oh, I on the radio too.
Are they on tonight?
The newspaper's on, yeah.
I do think it's critical, if we're gonna get pushback, but if we get it to work, is to let people, really let them know. There's gotta be very little confusion left, and there will still be a lot of confusion.
And education and stuff up front will go along.
So I think going just back to that, I mean, there's a lot on the city here to get this out. You know, can't expect people to come in and get a map from the city office or something, like, we need to be very proactive to work with this.
And each
I agree
year,
with that.
I mean,
I
that's
think-
what we make it.
From November 1st to May 1st, we just run a full page ad.
Every time.
Every time,
Every
we're like,
other-
God, enough with the maps.
Every other ad on the radio.
Enough with the maps.
I think that's the next line with Holly.
Yeah, you could do the thing of the radio, you know, they're like, it's 10 a.m. And
Well,
on the side of the street, you
Where's
have
your
to
car
park
parked?
on, where's your car at?
Yeah, right, there you go.
Any questions? You're good.
No.
Commissioner Hewitt? Go. Okay, we'll go back to Commissioner Reeves.
Yeah, on tier 2, you go down to 6th Avenue, it says from Main Street to Earl Street, is there an Earl? There's no.
Yeah, Earl Street is the backside of Frank Day Park. The one that kind of, yep, curves around the ladder.
See, the maps.
I have a few questions, and then we'll turn it over to public comment. So, I'm gonna like really show my intellect here.
Oh, good.
Cause I challenged this theory today. So normally your odds are on the left side of the street and your evens are on the right? But what is the rule? Is that like if you're headed into the city or out of the city? Cause I saw very many places today where we had odds on, so which way are you, how is that determined? Because whether you're going north or like
Steve
your
can
direction on
probably
Main.
speak to it better than anyone. There is an addressing standard, that our dispatch center does all of the addressing. And so they do that, and it's kind of east and west and north and south, there's different.
My guess is if Lorraine's confused on what's even and odd, the whole rest of the town, maybe.
What's your
10%
address?
of
Your address.
What's your house
Yeah,
address?
well, I don't, oh yeah, but
Mine's
on Main
120.
Street, it's different,
It's
it's
even.
weird. So, and then cause I do feel like we need to have really like specific, clear, clean education. Like it shouldn't be left up to somebody's interpretation or whether they're even on left, right. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like I really feel like it needs to be more.
And if you're parked out front of a house, look at the address, and, I mean, if you're in front of 220, you know that that's an even sign. If you're parked on that
And
side
and on December 2nd, 4th, 6th, whatever,
you're good.
okay.
And then I want, if you can also address like, so I park my car at 11:10 at night on a even day. By the next morning, it's now an odd day. So how,
That's not,
You have till 11 a.m.
no,
because it says, it reads 11 p.m. and 11 a.m.
Between, there's odd number street addresses between the hours of 11 p.m. So when you go to bed at night before, in the evening, what side are you gonna be on?
I don't know.
Same side?
You're very
If it's the
confused.
2nd of November, you're on the even side of the street. If it's
Before 11 p.m.
that day,
Yep.
right?
Okay,
That's what it says.
so when I wake up though, my car is not on the
You're
correct side.
good, but you better move before 11:01 a.m.
Move it before 11.
No. You don't have to move it until 11 p.m. that night.
Correct. That's right. You have
Okay.
the entire day.
Okay, so there probably needs to be more education than just maps. Is what I'm meaning.
yeah, because especially if they're not moving their
So
cars.
basically, it gives Public Works till 11 a.m. to clear
Wow.
That
whatever
side
side of the street. So we're assuming that they've already taken care of what they needed to before 11.
So Public Works is gonna start driving the streets at midnight, and they're gonna plow that side. And hopefully by 11 a.m. the next day, that side will be clear.
This is not the whole city.
Yep,
This is just the
Just
streets.
tier 2.
It just
Just
gives
for
them
tier
the
2.
opportunity to go down tier 2 streets and
Uh-huh.
get that side cleared before there are no cars on that side of the street.
And tier 1.
A different crew, but yes, they will
Tier 1's
maintain.
Tier 1 is, you don't park there when there's an emergency.
Correct.
Period. Regardless of the time of the day,
Mhm.
you don't park there during an emergency.
But what I'm saying is that there is a snow event, it's an even day. You don't get to park on the even side, and the tier 1s are clear, so Public Works is now covering both tier 1 and tier 2.
Correct.
And they have, in essence, in tier 2 until 11 to get that side.
12 hours to get this.
Yeah, they have 12 hours to get that cleared.
Right now, they have no time to get it cleared.
They have
because there are
zero.
cars everywhere.
I'm gonna,
Molly? Commissioner, they had a question about autumn even, may I answer the question?
Sure.
Okay, Commissioner Day, this is confused about what's autumn even.
well,
Okay,
I'm not
normally-
completing it.
Normally in most parts of this town, the streets, the north side is even, and south side is odd.
Yeah, I get that, but it switches up, is that what you were gonna explain with the dispatch, or no?
There's base streets, so like First Ave,
Okay,
is numbered one way, and one way the other
the other
way.
way,
And Main Street is the other base, and it's south and north off of Main Street.
okay,
So, because the town sits at a weird angle and then has that other weird angle, there's some variance to that, but for the most part, that's the way it runs. So you started at Main Street, headed this direction on Fourth Avenue, you're gonna be in the 100 block, 200 block, 300 block, 400 block, that way. If you're coming north from from First and you're headed this way, you're starting 100 block, 200 block, 300 block, 400 block in that direction. So if you look at those two streets, everything starts from those, at least from there, like not Tim's neighborhood and not some of those others, they have their own thing. But the main part of downtown is like, that's your nexus from where it
okay.
all
But if-
starts.
Cause like on the avenues, the, west side would be your even side and east side would be your odd side.
If my house number is 304, that's an even number.
Yes,
So it doesn't matter north, south, east, or west.
yeah, right, but they have
Just
letters
park
on
on the
that.
side like everybody else.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, our businesses and home and everything, we're all in here too, so. So I just wanna clarify too, where it says, tier one, no parking during the snow event or but you're saying the snow event is more than 4 inches. Is there any other definition of snow event?
No, but it's on, there is, the definition is on page 5, I think.
Cause on 3 it says or.
Where are you seeing or?
What it really comes down to, right, is this.
That is the
If
snow event.
the national, if NOAA says, we're about to get hit with a major storm, you're gonna get 6 to 8 inches of snow, she can declare an event, even if it hasn't started. snowing.
Predicted, right.
If it's predicted, like the big storm last year, they predicted we're gonna get a big storm. She would have declared it, this would have gone into place, and hopefully we would have had a lot less confusion for plowing.
And so Steve with DES gave me a great website that actually has probabilities of certain, like, amounts of snowfall. So it'll be a great tool.
And then, my only other comment was, I would really like to see if we could start working a little bit more with the downtown parking ordinance, or just having more conversations about that. Because I do think a lot of people will worry, like, well, parking is already so limited in some of these areas, and now we're losing half of our what have you. It would just be really good to have some of these
For a
discussions.
few hours.
Yeah, for a few hours, but I do think that we're gonna hear that kickback quite a bit. That would be a good thing for
And
our
at
ordinance
the end of the
to be.
meeting, if I can have a few minutes, I have some ideas on
Good.
how we can do it.
And I
I would
think
just
that
remind
was-
everybody, we spent $500,000
Pretty
on the
close.
last episode. We hired a lot of extra contractors. We spent months of meetings talking about that event. We needed to do something to fix it.
And I appreciate all that time by the many different.
I just remind everybody of the pain and suffering. we
I
went
also
through.
think, I mean, you just
The
gotta do
reason
it.
for this.
Yeah.
You just gotta do it. Just,
Well, and
you
if
gotta
it
try
doesn't work,
something.
we can come back and we can
You
try.
just gotta do it.
I move the Lewistown City Commission approve an ordinance amending Lewistown City Code Section 10-5-3, designating snow route areas as Tier 1 and Tier 2 priorities, creating parking restrictions for snow routes and amending penalties.
Amended it. Needs to be so fixed.
Sorry, another typo there. That's not for the meeting.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the table, and we have a second motion from Commissioner Rhodes and a second from Commissioner Bueller. I'm gonna just flop here and go to public comment and take that, and then we'll come back and ask if the commission has any
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I'm gonna talk fast because I got one heck of a baseball game to go to. Yeah, go Mariners. Just so that you know, I was part of the snow meeting that was with Manager Phelps.
And name and address.
Oh, John Cook, KOCH, Ward 3, 114 Turquoise. I was part of the committee and I sat in with Commissioner Robertson and Manager Phelps, and I believe who was the other gentleman? Was that Hal? He kind of sat.
Ernie Pallet.
Yeah. And in watching what these guys, I'm a citizen, they were in charge of trying to come up with something that's gonna work for everybody. Last year, yes. Was it unusual? More than likely. Probably won't see that maybe for a few more years. And so the idea was to sit around and find something, what's gonna be palatable to the citizens of this town? And Commissioner, you put it bluntly there. We've got to figure out how to change people's mindset up here. It's not 1910 where you park your car and we don't have plows. And when you're looking at some of these streets and driving around town, as we did during that hectic time, you cannot get a plow down there. Now, if you did get a plow down there, what are you going to do? You're going to get 38 phone calls coming in going, you plowed me in and I got a 5-foot berm on the side of my car. You dirty, you know what? And so this is about the best starting point. I'm going to call it an anchor. You know, we go through and it's going to be a tough sell to some of the community because, well, you have the question there, a little confusion. Do I park here? Do I park here? What do you want me to do? I don't want to get a ticket, and but it's gonna just have to be a public outreach somehow, some way. You're gonna get the phone calls, you know somebody's gonna be upset, but this is the best thing that we could come up with, and just me as a citizen. This man here has got a lot of building construction stuff that I don't. I was a law enforcement officer, so I was the one out there getting cold and dirty and writing tickets to people that were stupid. Hate to use that word, but they were. And so the sell-off it's an anchor point. Get it out there to the community, get them used to it to the best you can. I think you've got a good product in front of you, so I hope you all vote for it. Thank you much. I gotta go watch a baseball game.
Thank you. Now we'll take a comment from Deb in the back.
Sorry, Deb Bowser, 11 West Street. I just had a quick question. Is this gonna be like a police that's gonna enforce it or code enforcement?
It's actually both, either one can cite for this code.
Can code enforcement site without,
We
without
talked,
a complaint?
But yes, yep,
Yeah, they can generate the complaint.
and Justin was also part of it, the chief of police, and so Tim, I think, was just going to
the
go
chief,
there.
the chief of police said we absolutely need to do something. We would instruct our officers, they need to enforce this.
Okay. And then it would go up, you know, if you don't move it, it would go up.
Yep. It's, the ordinance suggests, if you don't have a copy, 25, 50, 100,
Okay.
within a 1-year period of time.
Okay. It's gotta be strict or they're not gonna do it.
Right, which is the problem we have right now.
Yes.
In the emergency snow routes, people aren't moving their cars the way it is.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think it's a great idea to do something, and I agree with the comments, that's the best option. My concern is, and I think people will learn to love it once it's happening. My concern is if there's not adequate plows and public works people that implement the city side of it, and I wake up in the morning and I move my car and there's still a foot of snow there, 2 feet of snow, it'll fall apart really quickly. So I would urge the city to really have a good plan, make sure it happens, and budget and all that goes with it. Otherwise, it's gonna be anarchy. People will be mad.
Yeah,
Just to respond, we had that discussion at great length with Public Works, with Chief of Police, with Fire Department. Can we actually put it in place and make it work? And we said to Ernie, who's running Public Works right now, can you do this for sure? And he said, I can, but I need more equipment, more people. the very next item on this agenda, I think,
Buy a plow.
is another plow.
Yeah,
And
it's a second new
so-
one.
Yeah, second one, so we did, this is the
We thought this would be the
second new one. And they're gonna have two different crews, one's gonna be the primary CDL crew running large equipment, and there's gonna be a smaller crew or a different crew that can run, and almost any city employee can run one of the 3/4 ton trucks with a plow on it, so they have a lot bigger pool to pull from. And those are the ones that are gonna cover it, they're gonna get out first and get going before there's a lot of snow.
And they'll be people's heroes. When people see their streets clean, they'll love it.
Any other public comment? Well, either way, we can, Samantha, will you just state your name and address again?
Yes, Samantha Houston, address 109 Turquoise Drive. One of the only options that I didn't hear for informing the public was street signs. Like, there's a lot of street signs, don't park here to the corner, you know?
We have
Depending on the
snow
number.
routes up now, and so they can easily be amended to include tier 1, tier 2, and some language there.
Just feel like that would really help too, because get a ticket, be like, well, street sign, right here. Please don't-
The chief talked a lot about handing out educational tickets, warnings to begin with, for a while, letting people know you're on the wrong side of the street, this will be a ticket next time, that kind of thing.
I'm not the odd number says street.
So I firmly support that, having a grace period initially, so it's an educational ticket as opposed to just going out there and throwing those on the right way, because there will be some issues for sure, we know that, but I agree this is a great plan, far better than, has been in the past, so appreciate all the hard work that you guys have put into doing that. One typo that I noticed on there, McKinley is spelled wrong, I don't know if you want to have the list of the streets. And then what's the time frame for someone on a tier 1 street that's parked there? How long do they have to move it? Like, so let's say we have a snow event overnight, is there some type of period of time that they're given to move the vehicle from there? That's not really spelled out and.
Once it probably, and maybe it's, the snow has stopped and the plows were able to clear the roads. So, I would envision it wouldn't be a 24-hour period, but if we get driving winds and 20 inches of snow, that becomes a little more complicated.
And then how long from the time you declare a snow event do they have to get their car out of there? Immediately?
I think is that what you're asking?
I think
I think that time frame should be spelled out, so.
It's
like,
pretty
hey,
much
snow event,
immediately.
Next 2 hours, whatever it is,
Yeah.
that should be spelled out, so that there's.
And I would hope that you're not declaring a snow event at 2 in the morning. I hope that you have a little more,
That's why the prediction
Try
and
to
having some
do
good
things a
thoughts.
little sooner.
Well, we do still have a motion on the table, but, any other comments?
One more thing. It says the state highway plow routes, are those considered part of tier 2? Or are they separate? It's just kind of listed under tier 2. So Main Street, First Avenue, are they a tier 2 or are they on their own avenue?
Those were supposed to be in tier 1. Are they not?
No, they're listed under tier 2.
Yeah, currently, but there is separate rules that regulate parking on.
Yeah, that's.
But maybe they
That's like the
maybe you
business
shouldn't
district.
have them on.
And we listed as the entire length of the street. So if it's a tier 2, the entire length of the street, then we can park there till 11. So you've got the downtown businesses that would be restricted by that. So it's just not defined very well.
Oh,
So
yes, yes.
If it's a tier 1, then it doesn't matter, that's how we deal with it already, it's got that 2-6.
Because I think you just take that out. So that would be an
Put a
amendment.
note in there, state does state.
Do they have to amend that then?
So the motion needs to be amended, it was made by.
No, what I would do is I would do a motion to amend that. No, amend it and then We can do the second reading.
Yeah, I have to amend it first though.
Right, that's what I'm saying, we have to amend it right now, you can make a motion, there is a motion on the table. You can make a motion to amend,
It's agreeable by Commissioner Rooms, is that who?
no, it has to be an actual, I make a motion to amend ordinance 1773 to remove state highway plow routes from the list of streets. A second, we vote on it, and then we can go back and do the regular
To the
motion, correct?
existing, the one on the table.
Yep,
Or do you kill the ordinance on the table?
you don't have to, you can, but you don't have to.
And then one other question, on the tier twos that are on streets where people live with the new garbage regulations, how's that gonna affect the people that have to pull their trash cans out on the street? Do they have to move the trash can to the other side of the street to maintain that?
So that is exactly one of the conversations we want to have with the public service, because that's a real concern.
Okay,
Going from that first reading that we did, we made so many corrections and changes that this almost feels like a new first reading, but considering we had snow this morning, I don't wanna hold this up, so is somebody willing to amend?
Hold on here, do you feel that we've had enough changes to this ordinance, we need to start over or not?
I don't think they've been substantive changes. The changes that were presented were in regard to the snow event definition. Again, it's been referenced what a snow event is, but we just changed the 2 to 4 inches. Again, I don't see that as substantive. As well as the time periods, again, it's been, the original is contemplating the odd and even calendar days and the difference, flip-flopping and parking. The amendments there, the changes there were just about the time frame, shifting those a bit.
And those were all done during the first reading.
Yep.
Okay.
Correct. And then removing the example that was in there, again, it's an example, so that doesn't have any effect on the ordinance itself. I think we've addressed the Scrivener's error on page 2 at the top, at the end of that paragraph. Again, reading that paragraph as a whole, the intent is to have that designate the conclusion of that event. So when we go to McKinley on page 4, again, that's a Scrivener's error, not substantive. We know what McKinley is. State highway plow routes, I drafted this according to the list provided, did not.
But that's what we would make the amendment for.
Correct, and then that's the amendment. So, and those, they have their own rules as it is, so.
It's not substantial.
Can I make a motion to amend this ordinance, page 2 of 7, under A, the last line of that starts with the word route. Are you following me? Page 2 of 7.
Even calendar days.
No. Am I reading this wrong?
No, you're not. Page 2 up on A.
Page 2 of 7, under A, toward the top, the last line of A starts with the word route. Cross off at any time, and I would replace it with the words within 8 hours of.
Okay, now, so we're making,
Take the word route, and then cross off at any time, and change add the words within 8 hours of, and then change the word declares to declaring. So it would read, within 8 hours of the city manager declaring a snow route.
that makes sense, yeah.
okay,
Additionally, on page 4 of 7, at the bottom, remove the word state highway plow routes. On the top of page 5, remove any street entire length of city limits, First Avenue, entire length of city limits.
A second. Amendments.
I'm sorry, what?
Just correction.
We need to add that in there too.
And on page 2, at the end of that last very top sentence, how that's hanging there.
The word, add the word ended to the top of page 2.
You want ended or concluded?
Included.
It says, until such time, this is B, in the definition section, the city manager declares the snow event to be ended.
So we're gonna use ended up there then. Okay. Are you still okay with that, Commissioner Terry?
Getting sticky. I don't know. No, I'm great. Sounds good. Real close.
Do you want to roll call that?
Well, you want me to read it first so everybody understands it?
please.
Okay, so we are making an amendment that on page 2 of 7, on the top paragraph, we're going to add the word ended. On page 2 of 7, section A, the last line, it's going to say route within 8 hours of the city manager declaring a snow event. On page 4 of 7, we are removing the statement that says state highway plow routes, and then on page 5 of 7 would be the Main Street and First Avenue, that will be removed. That is the motion. Do we understand the motion? Am I good to take a vote? For the amendment? I'm looking at our chairman. You okay?
Yeah.
You ready for a vote? Okay, so Commissioner, I want to have a list here. Bueller.
Aye.
Commissioner Day.
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes.
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson.
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye.
Okay, so that's unanimous. Now we have the second reading on the table.
And this is to approve.
In support of my motion, I realize there's gonna be glitches, there always is when you try something new, but I think we need to go with this. My mantra has always been flexibility is the key to sanity, so I urge you all to support this.
Oh my God, I need
Okay.
a t-shirt.
Thank you, Bob.
T-shirts. Put that on the public, the budget for public awareness. Flexibility is the key to sanity.
You ready? Okay.
Roll call vote.
So now we are approving the second reading of ordinance 1773. If this is approved tonight, it will go into effect on November 20th. We must have 30 days. Commissioner Bueller.
Aye.
Commissioner Day.
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes.
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson.
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye. Okay, this partners up. We're on item number 8, discussion and action on the purchase of a plow for the street department, city manager Holly Phelps.
Yes, so included in your packet is, 2 quotes by the pickup guy, which is the local vendor of Boss Plows. There is a slight difference between the two, and that is, these are both B plows, for a 3/4 ton truck we have. The only difference is that the more expensive plow has some mechanical devices that allow for down pressure on the plow, which in my opinion is critical to getting it to bare asphalt.
I move we approve the purchase of the plow with downforce for the street department.
How do you make it? I'll let before you make.
Second.
Okay. We may have to redo it here. This is where city manager was talking about, in these situations, when, per our purchasing policy, we must bring it to the commission at $15,550.
You already bought it, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
And it was 25.
For example, let's say the best deal was the $13,125, which I don't have to bring it to the commission for approval. However, if there's a tariff or shipping on there and it costs me over $15,000, I gotta bring it back. So we would appreciate if when we're making these motions, if you could give us an up to, you know, like $1,000 extra.
Just the purchase of that item is not
Correct.
enough.
Because of shipping.
But I
The
didn't
motion
attach
did
it
not
to
designate
a
a dollar.
number.
No. But we have it in here, so we're gonna have to figure out how you guys wanna word that.
In your motion.
Thanks.
To exceed $17,000.
Right.
I withdraw my motion. Let's start over.
He seconded it.
He seconded it.
He
He
can, I was like,
seconded
wait
it.
a second.
We're just trying to keep it transparent, but not have to bring it back 2 or 3 times, or look like, you know, we're not doing it right.
And we can't leave it with the item as opposed to the value, just to
But on this,
reiterate.
but this one here, it's the same one, so you're gonna have to be very specific, it's the same, vendor.
Like you said, with the
With downforce.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work, you have to,
We would appreciate,
Amounts.
or giving us some leeway.
so we need a new motion.
Amend it.
Just
It's
do
been
it.
amended in.
No, you need to
No.
amend your motion.
I need to amend.
Yes.
My goodness.
He threw out the number 17,000.
Yeah.
Suggested you say not to exceed 17,000.
Hey guys, I'm gonna amend my motion.
Okay.
I would like it to be with downforce, and I would like it to not exceed $17,000.
Thank you.
Did I get all of the words?
Perfect.
Second.
Thanks, Ron.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Bueller, a second from Commissioner Rubes. I couldn't read the handwriting, what does this note on here say? Without,
Non,
or non, what does it mean, not good for curb impact?
this is the one with no down pressure or down force, and so it doesn't bear the curb lines, like a plow with
The
down
bottom
pressure.
one does not hold under properly for that, so it's a way it works. It's really not material.
But you're motioning for the other one anyway.
Yes.
This is not really recommended anyway. Okay, that was my question. Any other questions from the commission?
Again, this is in the budget that we passed. Spectacular.
Any comments or questions from the public?
I do that, $1,000 ticket.
Awesome, let's do a roll call vote.
So we are approving a purchase of a V plow with down force not to exceed 17,000. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 9, discussion and action on approving a business license for Bridger Creek Plumbing Incorporation. City manager,
Katie was here.
Yes, so this is, a new plumbing business coming to town. Though they're also purchasing an existing building or business. Again, we have gotten all of the proper paperwork at this time, to move forward with that. It's a security bond and insurance. Aero septic. So, and this is
It's
the son.
basically the Finucane family.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they're commercial and residential?
Yes. And Tobin, the son, is a licensed plumber.
I move to approve a business license for Bridger Creek Plumbing.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Robertson and a second from Commissioner Rubes. Any other questions from the commission or the public?
I mean, it's not gonna have a new name?
Yes, Aeroseptic will now be,
They may,
No, they're
or
not.
operate,
No,
they're not even operating?
they are.
operating on
They're
both
running.
names.
I don't know if.
Does that answer your question?
One of the name change going to that away?
No,
We have that
Tobin
information.
Finucane is here to take over his parents' business. The septic,
Aero septic.
Aeroseptic. He wants to bring his plumbing business, which was in Gallatin Valley, he's bringing it here. This is low key until he gets his parents' business squared away. Then he will start advertising for plumbing jobs. Meanwhile, he wants to get ahead of the deal by getting this permit. That's what
That's not a deal.
Okay, let's do a roll call vote.
We're approving a business license for Bridger Creek Plumbing. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye. Citizen requests. Do we have any requests for the evening? Thank you all for being here. That was a long meeting, but we appreciate the attendance and the comments that have helped us make good decisions. We'll start with Commissioner minutes. We'll start on this end with Commissioner Hewitt.
I just want, Ross is here. I learned a lot about Snowy Mountain, Snowy Mountain
Development.
development, thank you.
Yeah.
It's not the other way, no, really.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I appreciate, and updating us quarterly or whatever would be great.
Thank you. Commissioner Terry?
I just had a question on, HR, if you can move forward on that at all, where you were.
So I, late last week, did get a quote back from, an individual here locally, and so I haven't really had enough time to digest it, but yes, we're continuing to move forward with that. And then, I guess now is as good as any time to, let you guys know that Tyler is no longer going to be, pulling double duty as a city and county attorney, and so, at the end of the month, he will no longer be a county employee and will be housed here at City Hall and be doing more, or all city work. And so that is why I alluded to the opportunities to move ordinances along and things like that.
Good news.
All right.
He was all excited about his new digs today. So.
Oh, yeah, still am. It's good and bad, so you're welcome to come help organize.
Crazy.
That's it. Commissioner Rubes?
Holly, what time will you be on the radio tomorrow?
So that is Thursday that I'm there
Oh, Thursday.
at 10 o'clock. Yep,
10 o'clock
at
Thursday.
10:10.
That's a standing.
Every Thursday after the meeting.
But, yeah.
Commissioner Robertson?
I would just like to thank everybody for the discussion and participation and questions related to the snow removal process. I certainly expect it's gonna be messy.
Oh, yeah. But it won't snow.
Implementation, but at least we'll be able to plow. Perhaps, we'll hope.
I would just like to add to that, I mean, this is gonna be a lot on you guys to get this out there. I mean, the commission has, passes the law, but it's
now an act
a
of
lot to.
And all of the departments are wholeheartedly behind it. I mean, we double checked all along the process to make sure that they were comfortable with the implementation and stuff like that.
We had zero pushback.
Oh, I'm sure
It
not.
was all positive, let's get this done, we need to find a solution.
And
There
I'm
was a lot of
sure,
pain.
and I mean, it'll still have growing pains, but really we're going to approach it as educational in the beginning, recognizing that this is new for all of us, as far as, giving warning tickets instead of fine, people right off the get-go, so.
I like that term, education.
Education citation.
Is
Is it a bill on capital?
Aren't they all
Citation.
Yes, they are.
Education.
I have heard from multiple people around the community that, again, traffic patterns around Lewis and Clark are very frustrating. Again, we are working on that, but it is something that with school being back in session, lots of people have re-noticed how chaotic those traffic patterns are.
I was kind of surprised to hear that the school district said, come talk to the city commission, because we've tried to work with the school district as well, right?
They've been at all of those meetings and did walkthroughs and stuff too.
So they're aware of the same thing that was communicated to me.
Yep.
Awesome.
This is a question to ponder, but you said that there is possibly significant funding that would need to happen to modify some of those traffic patterns?
Some of the, well, I think pretty much any of them would require a large amount of financial, money set aside for the project. I mean, none of them are going.
None of the truly effective solutions were inexpensive.
So,
But it's not
they're-
grant funding.
Well, potentially some state funding, safe routes to school funding, some things that was, the state really stepped up to come up with some plans and ideas and engineering. I was shocked how quickly they reacted to it. So I think the goal here is don't react too quickly. Don't get ahead of them because they're moving faster, way faster than normal. Don't get too far ahead of them because they might come forward with a state project or two to get some things.
Well, and many
big
of
things
those
done.
are on their, the urban route,
Urban
your
route.
state route.
so I would say because funding is always an interesting navigation relationship, it would be very good if the city and the school, came to the table and understood what kind of funding contributions both would have to do and keeping that conversation good going forward.
And
Because I'm assuming it's not all city or all school that would have to fund something like that.
And both Commissioner Robertson and myself have met with their building maintenance, committee.
Well, with the whole board, that was the maintenance committee, that was, let's say Monday morning, that's the committee, right?
Yep.
That's a huge committee, and we met and talked at length about ideas, so.
Thank you, that's it for your minutes.
That's my minute.
Awesome, all right, so I just would like to draw attention, we're going to be doing the performance evaluation November 3rd. And Commissioner Robertson was able to do some editing and adding some information on these, so we will distribute these out. And then we'd like to, can we start at 5?
Yeah.
I'm gonna suggest we start,
Even
let's
earlier?
let's coordinate schedules and start at an earlier time if possible,
So
if people can do that.
is
Or a
the commission
different day.
able-
Or a different
Or a
day.
different day, what are,
I won't be.
what are your thoughts?
I can't.
You will, okay, we want you there, so.
Let's find a day that works for everybody.
We really need everybody there, 'cause that's been the thing in the past, we haven't had it because of someone missing.
Could we look at the first week of December?
Yeah.
What,
That would give me time. I hate to hold it up, but
Oh.
I will not be recovered.
Okay. What about December 1st? Does that give you?
If it
Merry
doesn't,
Christmas.
let us know.
No, I can,
Yeah,
that'll
that's
be 4 weeks out.
what day is that this year?
Yes,
No.
I think
That
it
would
would be
be
good
our
to keep it
first
this
It's our
year.
Monday.
So
Yeah,
it'd be Monday.
Yeah.
So either proposing earlier in the day, or even, the day after,
So we don't
or
have to
something
bump
like
up
that.
against this meeting.
Well, why don't do you wanna just say 4 o'clock on the,
I was gonna suggest we get,
or are you saying earlier?
I'm saying,
We could even break in
I'm saying
between.
a break between,
Oh, do it at
So-
1 o'clock or something.
or do it on
So,
Tuesday, something.
What time would the pizza be delivered?
Wrong kids.
Yeah, so Commissioner Robertson is even suggesting even if we wanted to look at a different day.
Or can we do it earlier? Can people be there at 3 PM on that day? Then give us a couple of hours and a break and then come back into session.
Otherwise, it makes for a very long night.
It does.
So we'll have to look
We don't
at it.
have to have a committee of the whole that night,
Correct.
even if we're done
Correct.
by 5, we can come back and.
Correct, but we still have to figure it out, because it still has to be advertised.
Yes, absolutely.
Regardless of the situation, it has to be advertised.
Pushing it out to December, my calendar is still quite mobile at that time.
So right now, we've got Monday, December 1st, on the table for 3 PM, or do you want to start 2 PM, 3 PM? Everyone feels good about that? Commissioner Hewitt, you're good, good.
Can we do that? Is there any reason we can't? It's a closed meeting. Can we do that in Holly's around her conference table? Because this is a bad venue during the day.
Yeah, we probably won't be able to utilize this space, so we'll have to look for an alternative location, but with proper notice.
We gotta get all the proper notice.
Cause it's closed session.
Doesn't matter, it's a public
Yeah,
hearing,
I'm
we'll all
just
be
saying
together.
the venue, because
But-
it is a closed session.
The only person that can close it is the city manager.
That's a good point. Could be.
So she could choose to have it open. That is her decision. And so that's why we have to have everything set, and she will make that decision. Because really, even if she chooses to close it, if people wanna show up, they have the right to show up
And find out.
and find out what's gonna happen.
I'll get that information to Katie as well.
Yeah, we'll have to double check with her.
Make sure she's good. Okay, so as it stands right now, again, Monday, December 1st, 3 p.m. Location to be determined. It will not be here in this room. It'll be,
It could be in this room,
It
don't
could be.
say that it won't be.
we'll make sure it gets covered.
We will get it properly noticed and everything.
I have no minutes, just a huge thank you for the public. We've really been really grateful for the comments and the turnout that we've been having. It just makes our commission meetings so much more effective and getting that insight from the public. So thank you for representing tonight. And anything else for the good of the order? Maybe it looked like somebody had a, okay, meeting adjourned.